Ah, congratulations. I mean, if you have made it this far, congratulations. The Bible says in the book of James, chapter 4, verse 7, thereabout. Or verse 6. But he giveth more grace, wherefore he saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. Submit yourselves therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Oh, congratulations if you made it this far. Now that you are here again, let's keep digging. We are in the book of Genesis, and chapter 39, verse 7 to 12. This is now part 4 of this mini series. Genesis chapter 39, verse 7 to 12. We begin. Joseph is tempted. Joseph is or was an amazing guy. Why? He resisted the temptation of the whole topic that we are dealing with here. May you partake of the portion of the grace that was found in Joseph. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. So who started it? His master's wife did what? Cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. Isn't this what I've been teaching about in part 1, part 2, part 3? So now you'll understand why God puts it in the tablets to Moses. Okay. So there is an initiator here of the spirit. It starts with the wife of the master of Joseph. What does this wife do? Cast her eyes upon Joseph. Cast her eyes upon Joseph. The spirit was being entertained and kindled by the wife, the master of Joseph. And then he is lasting. She's putting her lust upon Joseph. Okay? To the extent that now the spirit is craving and wants to proceed to the next stage. She's burning out. The spirits want. Alright? So the lady here initiates it. Okay. Now, this is a very important lesson. Why? There's the word wife. For you, if you are married, my prayer to you is, if you are the lady in the relationship, lust over your husband only. Imagine all kinds of things with your husband. Do not put any other man in your mind. Because when you start to do it, you entertain this spirit of lust. And then you sin, violating the 7th commandment with your heart. Then the next thing you do, you will not be satisfied by being married to one person. You will look for someone, and then your whole marriage will break, and you'll all know the downfall. It's a very, very slippery slope. It goes like that. And ending up in the streets are being a prostitute. Okay? And then once you finish with all that, now you become lesbian. Before you go to dogs and all that kind of things. It's a slippery. It's like let me use the ice cream. So when you go to the ice cream guy shop with the ice cream cone, you have the first scoop. Okay, that's how the spirit is. You start with the first scoop, and then there's another scoop on top, and then there's another one, another. So the more you pile, the more heavier the thing is. Should I have used another example? But that's what came to mind. So yeah, or it's like it's like weights. You have 1 kg, then you put another one, on a ratili or a weighing thingy. So you put 2 kgs. So the weight of the spirit is overcome the strength that you have to hold if you're not spiritually strong to resist the devil, as per the book of James chapter 4 verse 7. So this one now, the fault is with the woman who is initiating it, who is tempting Joseph to fall. But guess what? It's possible for you to resist this kind of temptation. Let's read. But he refused. Joseph refused. And said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. Very wise guy. There is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? In a previous session, I had covered these books of Genesis. Actually finished covering the whole book of Genesis. We had perspectives of this section where we would see that Joseph has the Spirit of God in him and he is able to do wonders. And this is very attractive to women. All right. Now here, I want to put another perspective where I will put a blame on the husband who is not able to maintain his house on a spiritually mature platform. So that now the wife would not entertain such thoughts. Because if she had done it with Joseph, she had also done it with someone else. And the husband was also doing with someone else. It's a tit for tat, tit for tat, tit for tat. So you see it, huh? Mm-hmm. So there is none greater in this house than I, neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? It's not sinning against the husband, it's sin against God. This is all the purpose of his teaching. Ask yourself, why would you want to sin against God and lose everything that you have, he has given you? Okay. Verse 10, And it came to pass as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her or to be with her. It is not even mentioned how many days. They just say day by day. As you see, she's spying the spirits. There's no record of how many spirits or what is the load of evil spirits in her. Okay, by legion or whatever. But you can see it is pushing day by day, day by day, day by day, inquiring day by day, day by day, pushing day by day, and Joseph is resisting. So this lady is trying to break the man day by day, day by day, day by day. Then Joseph is resisting in prayer, resisting the devil, resisting the devil, resisting the devil, until the lady will now give up in a very interesting way. Verse 11, And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. Yeah, I remember in the first part, I think part 2 or part 3, where we were talking about the matter of rape, and we were mentioning about compromised positions or vulnerable areas. So that is it. If you find yourself in such a situation, let me tell you a secret. If you are a male and then you are straight, and even if you are gay, Temptation is temptation. The spirit that is in you who are gay, you are attracted to another man. And when you find yourself with another man in a house, who is not your man, totally legal in the biblical context. But I'm just saying because it is current, yes, that's what is happening. I mean, gay people cheat on one another, lesbian cheat on lesbian, gay cheat on gay. So, last is last. That is it. Because you've switched poles, or you figure the spirit in you has messed up polarity wise, So anyway, my point is, whether you are male or female, attracted to male or female or male, which is the normal state in biblical context. If you are found with a person that is not your partner in a room, and this person has this lust upon you, there is no way that you will be able to hold yourself together. Now, in both scenarios, all scenarios will lead to committing adultery. Of course, now being gay is multiplied by 2 because now you are now gay and not straight, and lesbian the same way. That is understandable. I mean, I have seen gay people get heartbroken by fellow gay people, and I've seen lesbian people get heartbroken by fellow, and it's very sad. Okay, it's totally sad. But again, as I mentioned in my part 1 or part 2, part 3, there is a spirit in you, and we need to be delivered. Okay, so I can never truly sympathize with gay or lesbian topics. All right, because we know what happens, what led to someone being moving from straight to gay. Okay, and I've explained in this series before. Okay, but I want to just bring to the aspect of heartbreaking, which is present in both scenarios, straight and gay. Okay, now that's very, very well. So I'm not entertaining it, I'm just giving an example of the same, because cheating is cheating. That's what I want to say. So here the wife of Potiphar wanted to cheat, to cheat on him with Joseph. Cheating is cheating, whether you are straight or not straight, Okay, but that's the point. But now, this is a very important point I want to make now. For all of us who are now straight, as of now, and you are believers, and you find yourself in a room with a lady who is lusting over you, and you sense it, please do not linger, run, because this thing is like a magnet. When you, if I wish I had 2 magnets, okay, imagine I have 2 magnets from a speaker, a small speaker. So I've plugged them. I have a magnet which is circular or whichever shape here, and another one here. And then I have put them in a position where both will attract each other. So if I'm holding the 2 magnets at a distance, this is physics. If I'm holding the 2 magnets at a distance, and then I tend to get closer, the forces of attraction, so far as the distance is very minimal between the 2 points, or the 2 magnets, or the 2 objects, and the collision is imminent, or the 2 magnets will definitely come together very fast. You'll hear that click sound, and then it will be very hard for you to pull it out. Okay, so that the same. So the logic behind the magnetic forces are the same. Is the same logic behind lust, and is the same logic behind love. Now, when you are, I wanted to bring this in but okay, let me finish with this. So if you find yourself, so never you get close, never you entertain someone who is lusting over you, because you will fall, because of that logic of attraction. the forces that are between two human beings. Okay. Never you get, because you will fall. So the best thing is to run away from this other person as far as you can, so that there is no forces that are pulling you together. All right, because this one, like this lady, has tried to do everything for Joseph to lie with everything. I'm sure she even was walking naked or something. She has tried everything, but could not break Joseph. Why? Because Joseph was putting a distance. And see what Joseph will do. Okay, I hope I will not forget the other point which I want to raise to you. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there. So they were alone, just two of them. And she caught him by his garment, saying, "Lie with me." And he left his garment in her hand and fled and got him out. That's what Joseph did. The forces are very strong. So Joseph ran, and he left the lady with the clothes, because the lady now cannot let go of the clothes. And it's not the lady, it's the demonic spirits that are possessing the lady to lust. Okay, entertained by the lady and fed by the lady. So they are very strong. The strength of this lady is very strong. So this guy decides to leave everything and just sleep. You know, you understand, if someone is wrapped in the way they used to dress, and then when you catch the cloth, and then it is very used to slip out of the jacket. You've seen people fighting, and someone get hold of it and then slips and then leaves the person in the cloth. I make sense here. So Joseph runs away, and that is the best way to deal with the lust. You run away. I've heard of funny testimonies where pastors or these servants of God, let me just use that general term, I've gone to do prayers, special prayers to people's homes, and then they end up finding these women church members alone in the house. Then they are given food, and in some instances, these women are lasting over the church leader, the church person, or anything of the sort, and they would end up put sleeping potions or pills on the food, and this will put the someone go in a compromised situation. All right. Or even some are just as innocent as that, but the minute the man comes with, no matter if that's the thing I told you about the Bible. The thing has no power. It's just a book. If you don't read it, it has no power. It's just made of wood and paint and ink on it. So if you walk into a room and you want to pray, and if these people or the man of God walks into where was I talking about? So I was saying, so I've heard of this story. One of these servants of God goes into this church member's house for special prayer, because maybe they invited them because they are sick or they want to do Thanksgiving. But then again, they find them alone, and then these people can be naked or half naked or something, and then this guy would end up falling. Why? Because even if you're carrying your own Bible, these forces I'm talking about, they are stronger, and you forget everything, and you stop thinking with your upper part. Okay, and that's it. Then you fall. But Joseph does teach us how to do it. You run away completely. Okay, and once you do that, you overcome it. You do not commit the sin of adultery. Well, of course, Joseph had consequences, because now the lady will accuse Joseph wrongly and all that. Joseph ended up in prison, but God will always have another way to change the story. And let me tell you, there's a reward for the biggest reward I've seen in the kingdom of God is for people who have overcome the spirit of adultery with the lust. That's the biggest, because like look at Joseph. What did God do? He ended up being now the boss of the wife's husband, Potiphar. He ended up being the prime minister. You see, because God looked at him, and then he said, "Look, if this one can kill the flesh, then he will not commit the same sin once we give him power, because all power belongs to God, and he knows where he puts the leaders. That kind of thing." So that's the story of Joseph. All right. Now, I wanted to mention something interesting. There's a difference between love, lust. Okay? And then, which you now understand. Okay? And then there's something called crashing, which, let me say, I've seen it. I've seen it in movies. I've been in school. I've seen it, with people. I've been around the world a couple of years, so I've seen it. So when you have a gentleman who is single and not yet married, and when they are in the market, let me use the marketplace, or walking in the city, and then you end up stumbling upon a lady, all right, and the first thing, so you want to see this difference, and if you are men, you've experienced, even if you are female, you've experienced this. So you stumble upon, if you're a man, you stumble upon, you just see a lady out of nowhere, and the first, and when both your eyes meet, and when you see, and she looks at you, and you look at her, and then you kind of have that feeling that that's the one. Okay, so you end up looking at this lady from the neck upwards, so you end up crushing on the face. That's when you use the term she's beautiful. Okay, so crushing would be now the initial process of beginning to love, or to beginning to like, so that you can love the person later. And it's like comes from neck upwards, because you're interested with the looks, or the face of the person you like. You've seen you actually, it's a very interesting aspect, because it's one soul identifying another soul, because the first thing you look at the person is the eyes, and this lady looks at you directly in the eyes, and you make a connection, and then you have that crush, and then people call it chemistry, I don't know, but you understand what I mean. So for those who are married, the first time you met your wives, if you can remember it, the first time you saw them, or you saw your wife, would have been from the neck upwards, actually at the eyes. So you looked at her, and she looked at you, and you made a connection, and then you had the courage to go and say hi. and the night you will not think about any other thing except the lady, and vice versa. Right? For the ladies as well, that's the same case. But we will teach on this later on about marriage. But the process is best initiated if the man is the one pursuing the lady. But if the lady is the one pursuing the man, then it doesn't really end well in most cases, because it just doesn't end well, because for those who are married, you understand what I mean. Okay, most of the stories would be the man now pursue you. You pursue a lady, not the other way around. Okay, that's how it goes. Okay, maybe it stems back from the way Adam was there before Eve, and in that kind of scenario. Even, okay, let me give you a best example. You've seen in the Bible. I haven't seen in the Bible where, except in the case of Ruth, Naomi's story with the Boaz there in the book of Ruth, but in the cases of Isaac, the man goes to look for the wife. You understand? And then Isaac sees Rebecca for the first time, and he just knows that's the one. And Rebecca is it. And the same applies to Jacob. Okay, going after Rachel. You understand? So that's the thing. But so if you look at both the stories, even we'll get to the verse. I've mentioned that verse before in the book of Genesis, where they're describing Leah as having a lazy eye. The descriptions are mostly on the eyes, nose. Okay, but when you have now, when you're a man when you focus now on the below the neck, then now that becomes lust, because it's not love at first sight. There's no connection. There's no nothing. It's just pure lust, and the thing doesn't end well. And we will see a very good case of it in the book of this Second Samuel, where we'll find a verse there. we'll find a verse where one of the children of David was hitting on the sister. His name was Tamar, but we will have it. I have it in one of these parts where we'll cover it as well. But anyway, my point is there's a difference between lust. So the difference between lust, love, and crushing. Crushing, chemistry, first eye meeting, connection. That is now in the initial points that goes to liking, then love. Okay. But lust is just lust, and that's it. It dies. It continues like that. It's a demonic thing, which you need to figure it out. But if you already started on love, that's fine. You can lust over your wives and your husband. But please follow the teachings of Jesus Christ. He was not a fool when he was saying it. He knew what he was saying. He's God. He knows all your weaknesses, and that's that. So let's see what happens in Exodus chapter 20, verse 14. Now God really looked at everything, and when he's coming now to do Exodus chapter 20, he has seen the kind of drama that is happening between and the misusing of this power to procreate, and he finally does something interesting. He gives commandments, the 10 commandments, and then this one becomes the 7th. All right. Thou shalt not commit adultery. In the verse 17 has a relationship, a dotted line there, which says, "Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. It's kind of full of, lasting. It's like green eyes, and it's like the thing. It's an entertaining, so don't do it because it leads to something. And if you have a habit of doing it, you will end up doing it now to the lady or to a man. It starts small. All right. So now it has begun. Let's see now what happens in Leviticus 17:1-7. Leviticus 17:1-7. Now we're in a roller coaster. It becomes very easy. That's why I said congratulations if you've reached this far. Leviticus 17:1-7. Leviticus 17:1-7. Leviticus chapter 17, verse 1-7. Leviticus chapter 17, is it? And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Israel that killeth an ox or lamb or goat in the camp, or that killeth it out of the camp, and bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, to offer an offering unto the Lord before the tabernacle of the Lord, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He hath shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. To the end that the children of Israel may bring their sacrifices which they offer in the open field, even that they may bring them unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto the Lord. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savour unto the Lord. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. There is a correlation here. Idolatry, adultery, whoredom, technically in spiritual terms, not serving, here they are speaking about offerings which are to be done by the priest in the tabernacle arena. All right. Now, the way here now, they are not sleeping around physically with people, but they are serving other gods. So you're going to this one, you're serving this one, you have done with this one. We'll teach you how people serve gods with small g without them knowing. And that thing is a prostitution, because now you're cheating on let me use that sensitive term. You are not serving God, you are serving other gods. That is that idolatry and adultery in the same manner. And that's why they use the word whoring. Okay. So the same is also not allowed. Okay. And then God is, serving God should be the whole purpose. Don't mix it with other things. Okay. And there's a nice opportunity here which was given to the Israelites to do that, because now they were seeing other nations, what they were doing, other gods sacrificing people like Molech and all that. But now here, God has segregated his people and wants things to be done the right way. And he's giving instructions, and he wants it to be done like this. All right. And this gives the people a place to pour sacrifice. Again, this is the Old Testament, but that's the thing. But now Jesus came. Again, the same applies, but we don't offer sacrifices, by blood and all. It's already been done, which I'll still teach more about. We do service. We serve Jesus Christ only. Okay? We are believers of Jesus Christ. Okay? Now, the problem comes when people now you play around churches and you go around fake servants of God. You have no clue who is the real, who is carrying the false spirit, and that kind of thing. And that thing God does not like it. It's the same thing. Again, as I mentioned earlier, the way spirits multiply is quite really similar to how humans multiply. And that's because we are carriers of the same spirit, of those spirits in that perspective. So that's the thing. Here it brings an aspect of idolatry and adultery turning back together, one in one, in tandem. Okay, and when you read the whole text of Leviticus, you'll understand why. These are just rules being given on how to serve God and how not to serve other gods. Okay. But when we reach again, I'll expound more and I'll teach more when I'm reaching now the book of Leviticus. I think now I'm in Exodus, right? Let's look at Leviticus chapter 18, verse 1 to 30. Let's see what we can get there. Now this is something now God is addressing. Chapter 18, verse 1 to 30. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am the Lord your God. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances. This is very serious. Okay. Ye shall do my judgments and keep mine ordinances to walk therein. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord. All right. This is now an advice to you. Just listen to the whole thing. Now let's see the sin of incest. Now none of you shall approach to any. This is Leviticus chapter 18, verse 1 to 30. We are on verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. God is addressing the sin of incest. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. All nakedness should not be seen except that of your wife. Otherwise, it becomes pornography. And this is addressing that. All right? The nakedness of thy father's wife shall thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. Remember now, God is now addressing this matter because of what happened in the book of Genesis when he's talking about Noah. Okay? The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover. The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. Remember the case of Judah? Verse 11. The nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister, thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister, she is thy father's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman. All right? You've seen this in pornography. Okay? For those of you who have partaken it. So this is not allowed. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife. She is thine aunt. There are some communities practicing this. Okay? It is not allowed. So please don't lie to yourself. It is written like this. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. See, God is addressing everything Judah did here. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswomen. It is wickedness. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. I mean, let me just continue. It's amazing how these things happen, especially in African cultures. And it's also amazing how these things are happening now, especially for young people who don't know anything about traditions. Okay, and this part of text, it's just dangerous. And that's why we're taking so much time to teach it, so that we can avoid this by knowing it. Okay? So immoral acts forbidden. Let's see verse 19 to 30. Also, thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness, as long as she is put apart for her uncleanness. Okay? Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her. It's sad because I've been in the world. I'm in the world, and I was a sinner, or we're all sinners. But I was when I was not born again, or rather, when I didn't know this, when I was not in Christ as I am right now. You would listen to lyrics of people and what they are describing in music, and it's a shame, because what I've just read, the rap songs and all that, people do take pride in that, and that's the saddest reality here, because we used to listen to these songs and we didn't know what is written in Leviticus. All right, and yes, you will say this is Old Testament, but the New Testament refines it. But this thing, God does not like it. Isn't He the same God? There are those things that have been refined, but it's as simple as that. Okay, it's just sad. Let's continue. Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife, to defile thyself with her. And thou shalt, verse 21, and thou shalt not let any of this thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy God. I am the Lord. Now, Molech here the god of the Ammonites, and this is referring to human sacrifice. Okay, and this is something that God forbids it, because He will take a child and He will burn them in sacrifice to this god. It's just the devil in another form. Okay, and it's pure witchcraft, and it's practiced these days. The funny thing is that people even don't know it, but it happens. Okay, and people do it. Of course, the demonic practices have become more professional by this age of 2025. All right, and that's a sad thing. But anyway, there are people who do. I will teach more about the people who give their offsprings. This is the meaning of seed to demonic power, so that they can, in exchange, get more wealth from the pit of hell and the sad state as well. And then God does not like it, because it profanes the name of God, who is God, right? We'll teach more about that. Verse 22, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is abomination. This is the answer to LGBTQ. It is an abomination. And I will repeat, it is an abomination. And I will repeat it again, it is an abomination. Leviticus says it clearly here in the book of Leviticus chapter 18 verse 22. Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with them. It is just an error. It's an abomination. In verse 23, neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith. Neither shall, you see, bestiality is an abomination. Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down there too. It is confusion. It's very demonic, and it is not allowed. You might be entertained by it, but just know there are consequences. God does not like it. Okay? Defile not ye yourself in any of these things, for in all these the nations are defiled which I cast out before you. That's a very heavy statement. When you start doing these things, slowly but slowly, your nation will be wiped out completely, and it will be taken by a nation that is righteous in God's sight. And that has been the game throughout the whole biblical text. And in this scenario, Israel is taking over these lands because they are defiling everything, and they are powerless. Okay, I hope you're seeing the effect of sinning as a nation. So for those countries who, your people are very trigger happy when it comes to violating the seventh commandment, just know that sooner or later, your nation will be wiped out by another nation which is serving God. It won't take long. And in 1025, there are a couple of them. All right. And from today, you'll see such signs. And the land is defiled, verse 25. And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it, and the land itself vomited out her inhabitants. That's the thing about the land is alive. Verse 26, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations. neither any of your own nation nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. Verse 28, that the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. Okay. This is the effect of doing what God does not want. This thing that we are stepping on, the rock, which you are calling the earth, or whichever name which it has been given before, it is alive. It has trees in it. It is a living creature. It supports living things. When you sin on it, it has a very nice command to spill you out. So for those nations who are bragging about serving other gods except God, this God of Abraham, Jesus Christ, there is a power that is on earth ready to spill you out. And there will be other inhabitants where you are staying. That's why now there are kingdoms today which were not there before, because someone comes and take over. So what is now, in 2025, and the countries that are playing around with God will be no more. There will be other peoples on top of it, and they will wipe it out. They will wipe the mountain. They will wipe everything. Okay, and that's the nature of things. Okay. So falling is not an option. You have to strive to serve God. That is what keeps people alive. That is what keeps countries prosperous. But when you think it's by your own wisdom or how more technological you are, then you are very wrong. Okay, and I will repeat this. And because on this day, from today onwards, it's a declaration. Why? Nations must stop making other nations to sin. Okay. And if you don't, you will lose everything. That's how it is. And there are no two ways about it. Okay. There are no two ways about it. It takes an effort for a sinning nation to go back to God, especially when the nation has so many people in it. All right? It just takes a whole big effort. And you will see it's a big effort to make them to come back to God. You will see it in the lives of Ezekiel. You will see it, in this, when after people have gone to Babylon, Nehemiah, you see it in Ezra. You see it. That's why they are prophets. But it's a terrible work. Okay? And now, if you even made the servants of God to sin, who will now stand for you? You are as dead as that. Okay? You know yourselves. Verse 26, ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you. These are people whom you are inviting to your nations. Okay? Verse 28, that the land spew not you out also, when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you. I believe that, Verse 29, for whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them, shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall ye keep mine ordinance, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs, which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am the Lord your God. And the funny thing, even so much as they are warned, the Israelites still do these things. And most of them don't end up in the promised land, which is the journey now that is here. Let's look at Leviticus 19 to 29. Leviticus 19 to 29. Ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind. Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed. Neither shall a garment mingled of linen and woolen come upon thee. It's just God addressing the manner of straightness. Okay? Verse 20, and whosoever lieth carnally with a woman that is a bondmaid, betrothed to an husband, and not at all redeemed, nor freedom given her, she shall be scourged. They shall not be put to death, because she was not free. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, even a ram for a trespass offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering before the Lord for his sin which he had done, and the sin which he had done all shall be forgiven him. Oh God. It's dangerous, and it was dangerous before. Thank God that Jesus Christ came, because you can imagine the way people are sinning right now, the number of animals that would have been used to make atonement for the same. Verse 23, and when ye shall come into the land, and shall have planted all manner of trees for food, then ye shall count the fruit thereof as uncircumcised. 3 years shall it be as uncircumcised unto you, it shall not be eaten off. But in the 4th year all the fruit thereof shall be holy to praise the Lord withal. And in the 5th year shall ye eat of the fruit thereof, that it may yield unto you the increase thereof. I am the Lord your God. Ye shall not eat anything with the blood, neither shall ye use enchantment nor observe times. We'll teach more about this in Leviticus, because now what is being addressed here, is eating food with the blood in it. And, neither shall ye use enchantment nor observe times. It is like horoscopes and using the stars to estimate your future. Okay, ye shall not round the corners of your beads of your heads, neither shalt thou mar the corners of thy beard. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord. This is talking about tattoos and making bodily incisions. Alright? Do not prostitute thy daughter to cause her to be a whore, lest the land fall to whoredom and the land become full of wickedness. That simple act violates the purity of the land. Now you can imagine how the lands of the earth have been violated in terms of purity, and what's about to come. And then you will hear the earth is sneezing, and a bit of shaking a bit. It's trying to adjust itself. The ground is adjusting, getting ready. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord. Regard not them that have some familiar spirits, neither seek after wizards to be defiled by them. I am the Lord your God. Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear thy God. I am the Lord. Okay. Respect the elders. Okay. So there's so much teachings in those sections, which I will cover when I'm covering Leviticus, because you have to know what has changed, what hasn't changed. But again, the aspect of idolatry remains. It is something that violating the very soil that we are stepping on daily, or where we are based, the land of the living. Okay? And it has consequences. So that's done. Let's look at the book of tiny table. Leviticus chapter 20, verse 5 to 21. Then these are penalties for sinning. Verse 5 to 21. Then I will set my face against that man and against his family, and will cut him off. and all that go a whoring after him to commit whoredom with Molech from among their people. And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits and after wizards to go a whoring after them, I will even set my face against that soul, and will cut him off from among his people. Sanctify yourselves therefore, and be ye holy, for I am the Lord your God. And ye shall keep my statutes and do them. I am the Lord which sanctify you. More penalties for law breaking. Verse 9, for everyone that curseth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. He hath cursed his father or his mother, his blood shall be upon him. And the man that committed adultery with another man's wife, even he that committed adultery with his neighbor's wife, the adulterer and the adulteress shall surely be put to death. And the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion, their blood shall be upon them. If a man, in confusion here is mixing seed in a family setup, okay, you end up getting so many deformities. Okay. Verse 13, if a man also lie with the mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And if a man take a wife and her mother, it is wickedness. They shall be burnt with fire, both he and they, that there be no wickedness among you. And if a man lie with the beast, he shall surely be put to death, and he shall slay the beast. And if a woman approach unto any beast and lie down thereto, thou shalt kill the woman and the beast. They shall surely be put to death, their blood shall be upon them. And if a man shall take his sister, his father's daughter, or his mother's daughter, and see her nakedness, and she see his nakedness, it is a wicked thing, and they shall be cut off in the sight of their people. He had uncovered his sister's nakedness, he shall bear his iniquity. And if a man shall lie with the woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. In 2025, Jesus has already arrived. So there will be no one will be able to kill. You know, the terms are changing because of the New Testament. So no one will be able to kill you if you do this physically. But now, judgment is upon you in spirit. So you will die in spirit. And God is the one now who will deal with you directly. Okay? And there's a way sin does to a person. It diminishes your security in the spirit. So you most of you who have committed these things, if you have stumbled upon this clip and if you are watching, you have noticed that afterwards things start going badly. You will hear sickness, death, no money, you lose job, things start to go. And that's the death we are talking about now in the New Testament. Things start to go. Because the spirits now are the ones that are dealing with you. And what happens to you is exactly what happens to Job after he was touched or encountered by the devil. Everything was lost. That is the best example I can give you. If you look at the book of Job and what happened to him, that is the best. Job might have not have done these things, but what happened to him happens to most of the people who do such things. Okay, and you will end up in the grave with no one really killing you per se, but that is the death that is upon you. Either way, God will have to deal with you. Okay, because right now there is no church that will kill you because it is illegal to kill someone. All right. It's the same way when when I was reading the book, the verses in the New Testament, cutting your eyes if it's causing you to sin is better for you to go to heaven without your arm. So you don't cut it physically. Okay? And that's the thing. But now this, where I've stopped here, verse Leviticus chapter 20 verse 18, and if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and this is a point where we are talking about, it's funny how this commentary just keep the whole thing. Periods, you understand? So you are having an affair with someone who is on a period. Blood is very sensitive. You want to avoid that completely. You've now added, it's the way a policeman writes someone a ticket. You've flaunted the speed rules, you've oversped on the road, you've hit another car. Right now it's like you've committed adultery, and then on top of that you have an extra ticket for, you are violating sins. So you have a cases to answer. That's the best way I can. So this one addresses that. All right. So if a man shall lie, so it's not allowed. For those of you entertain it as it is fun, it's not allowed. There's a verse here that deals with that. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness, and shall uncover her nakedness, he hath discovered her fountain, and she hath uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people. Verse 19, and thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, nor of thy father's sister, for he uncovereth his near king, they shall bear their iniquity. And if a man shall lie with his uncle's wife, he hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness. Because you see, the uncle and the auntie are one. He hath uncovered his uncle's nakedness. They shall bear their sin. They shall die childless. They shall die childless. You are wondering why you don't have children. Look back. Whether you had done such a thing as a man or as a woman. Sleeping around is a sensitive thing, and that's why I have to do these videos, because it is taking so many people to hell very, very fast. Okay? And the funny thing is that so many people are entertaining these things, especially now. Okay. Cousin is sleeping with cousin sleeping with uncle, like that, when they're all drunk, and you're entertaining it, and you're, death is coming for you if you do not repent. Verse 21, and if a man shall take his brother's wife, it is an unclean thing. He hath uncovered his brother's nakedness. They shall be childless. In the case of Tamar and Onan and Tamar only got the child from the father-in-law. Verse 21 applied. May God help you. Leviticus chapter 21. Now we are going to see repercussions. We are going to see things. Leviticus chapter 21 verse 6 to 15. Leviticus chapter 21 verse 6 to 15. Let me see how okay, let me just read that. Verse 6 to 15. Holiness of priests. They shall be holy unto their God, and not profane the name of their God. For the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and the bread of their God they do offer. Therefore they shall be holy. You see, now, here, as I speak to you, we have no other choice other than to be holy. For us, falling has major repercussions, and it is dangerous to us if we do sin, if we do commit such things, because it's like someone who is on the tallest building on the planet, on that floor, and then you just let go, and you are thrown out of that building to hit the ground. You see, the weight and the speed at which you're hitting the ground is very, very fast, and once you hit the ground, you are done with. it is impossible, it is difficult for you to be alive, save for that person who is on the first floor or the mezzanine. So they, verse 7, they shall not take a wife that is a whore or profane, neither shall they take a woman put away from her husband, for he is holy unto his God. Thou shalt sanctify him therefore, for he offereth the bread of thy God. He shall be holy unto thee. For I, the Lord, which sanctify you, I am holy. And the daughter of any priest, if she profane herself by playing the whore, she profane her father, she shall be burnt with fire. It saddens me when you see priests or servants of God, and then you have their children in the secular world. So the weight of the hammer of God, or the sword, or the thing that is coming to destroy the person is heavier because of the sin of the person itself and the sin against them. So there's two ways to it. But then, and he that is the high priest, and he that is the high priest among his brethren, upon whose head the anointing oil was poured, and that is consecrated to put on the garments, shall not uncover his head, nor rend his clothes. Again, this is something that is faced out because of Jesus Christ. We'll teach more about it, but now people are in the spirit, okay? Neither shall he go in to any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or for his mother. Neither shall he go out of the sanctuary, nor profane the sanctuary of his God, for the crown of the anointing oil of his God is upon him. I am the Lord. Marriages of priests. And he shall take a wife in her virginity, a widow or a divorced woman, or profane or an harlot, these shall he not take, but he shall take a virgin of his own people to wife. Neither shall he profane his seed among his people, for I, the Lord, do sanctify him. Okay? Now, when we reach this part, we will teach more about this. But it's a thing that addresses adultery. Okay? Because now, there's the element of the Holy Spirit. There's the element of Jesus Christ. And then there's the element of people from all walks of life giving their life to Christ. And now growing in the Spirit and becoming priests. Okay? So it is now different from how it was done in the way of Leviticus. Okay? That's it. It's as simple as that. So we'll teach more about that. Let me check the time and see whether we can push to Numbers and Deuteronomy. We should end there. So that's the Leviticus, okay? Let's push to, let's see a couple of verses and then we can end. Then we can begin the book of Judges. Let's see Numbers chapter 5, verse 5 to 31. Numbers chapter 5, verse 5 to 31. Let me see whether Numbers chapter 5, verse 5 to 31. Numbers chapter 5, verse 5 to 31. You want to hear something interesting? This is one of the most interesting things I found in the Bible. Regarding adultery. I just read it, then you'll get the swing of it. And I think Let's save it for the next part because it's so sweet. It's something that is, you can read it ahead and then you'll understand, and I'll explain it to you in the next part. Yeah. Let's take that verse on the next part. Okay. See you on part 4 or part 5, I think.